to do this as quick as I can, but I want to make sure that I cover all the things that I had to think about over the past week, over the past 6+ months. First, I'd like to say thank you to Governor Walker, General Dunbar, and Ron Walden, Commander Chief Collins for coming out on a late Friday night. Other distinguished guests in the audience, and first and foremost, all of our families. It has truly been a tremendous journey. First, Governor Walker, back on November 11th on that rainy Sunday afternoon, he presented me with a state flag. We carried that flag all the way to Alafra, over to LED, back to Wisconsin. Now, we weren't able to fly it on a flagpole per se, but we did fly it. It flew on every aircraft that flew out of Alafra Air Base, with the exception of the U-2s. So, from the 7th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron, the F-22 Raptor, to the 99th Expeditionary Reconnaissance Squadron, the MQ-1, the MQ-4, and the EQ-4. From the 908th Expeditionary Air Refueling Squadron, AC-10s, from the 968th Expeditionary Airport Command and Control Squadron, E-3 Centuries. From the 494th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron, F-22Es, or excuse me, F-15Es. Except the AC-10s. From the 7th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron, F-15Cs. And then the 99th MQ-1s. So, on behalf of all of us assigned to the 128th Air Patrol Squadron and those that deployed in support of the 727th Expeditionary Air Patrol Squadron, I proudly return to you the state of Wisconsin flag that you so honorably gave to me back on November 11th. And certificate. I really don't know what you're going to do about it, but they said, you know what? There's plenty of smart people in Madison that can figure it out.
What was it?
Oh, by the way, we were delayed taking off out of Germany because the computer up in the cockpit couldn't load the flight plans. When they did get them loaded, they were already outside, they were ready to take off, so we had to refile again. When we got to BWI, guess what they forgot to do? Put enough fuel on board. So we had to wait for a refueler. Otherwise, we would have been there about 7:30 instead of 9 o'clock. But regardless, we're home, and that's all that counts. Where's Sergeant Armstead? Where's Daisha?
She just left.
She just left? Daisha, thank you very much. Daisha came to us from the 115th Fighter Wing back in September. Am I right? Well, that's was the sole or the main contributor in putting this together amongst other people, so Daisha, thank you very much for all your hard work. The 128th Air Patrol Squadron owes you a debt of gratitude that I don't think we can ever repay. But otherwise, thank you is all I have for you right now. Where's Jeannie? Over here. It's not easy being a commander, and it's even more difficult being a commander on an interim basis. But Jeannie did an outstanding job in my absence. She kept the home fires burning, the manning document full. She didn't do so much with the budget, but that's okay. Maybe I'll even give her credit for reducing our furlough days from 22 to 11. But either way, Jamie, thank you very much for the outstanding job that you did in my absence. It's truly amazing how much you can get accomplished when you work as a team. This is all I have to use for a week to make notes. All right. When we left on November 11th, I introduced a group of people that volunteered to help us out. And for those that were here on that day, if you remember what I said, we have to fill what's called the deployment requirement manning document. We're given X number of positions. And within any air control squadron, we just don't have the requisite numbers of personnel and the proper AFSCs. For many reasons, primarily for training. But what we did have was an outstanding group of volunteers. The 16 of them total across the Air National Guard, many of them from the Air Control Squadron community. We had one individual that stayed with us for the first 60 days, our functionary manager from the National Guard Corps, which was just outstanding to have him come out on the deployment. We had fantastic support from Tech Sergeant John Taylor, the Contractor Strength Center right here at Gold Field. Outstanding support from Captain Aaron Hunterville. What a phenomenal intelligence officer from the 115th Fighter Wing. Staff Sergeant Corey Roach from the 109th Air Control Squadron, who we had to send home on emergency leave as his grandfather was deemed terminally ill. A sole provider for him and his sister and his mother. Likewise, Lieutenant Colonel Chris Brown from the 134th Air Control Squadron, whose father-in-law all of a sudden came down with a rupture aorta in the last week and a half that we were at Aldacra. So those two individuals are not here. I ask that you keep them and their families in your thoughts and prayers as their loved ones continue to either heal or adjust to a terminal illness. Likewise, Captain Chris Bilderback from the 109th Air Control Squadron came to us in January from the 109th Air Control Squadron. Senior Airman Jim Russell, who stayed with us